The Iron Man is eating all our farm machinery. We cannot use our machines to help us farm. Can you help? We need to grow our own vegetables because commercial farming will not work. Commercial farming is farming for business. While the Iron Man destroys all our ploughs, our combine harvesters, and our tractors. However, in order to grow crops, we must understand plants. Remember, crops are a type of plant that grow for food, for purposes of food, for people. We've talked already about how water moves around plants and about how plants germinate, so they grow from being seeds. And today we are looking at identifying and describing parts of a plant and their function. So our key questions are: what are the main parts of a plant? Where are the main parts of a plant? What do the parts of the plant look like? And what are the jobs of the plant parts? And you will need to label each part of the plant. You will need, and all of you should be able to do that by the end. Most of you should be able to describe what the plant parts do. And then some of you will be able to explain how the jobs of the plant parts link together. So, this is a buttercup. Now, buttercups, as you can see here, a type of plant with a yellow flower. They grow in parks and gardens. So when you're out on your walk with family, you might spot some that you can have a closer look at. And you can see here that the main parts of the buttercup are the flower, the bud, the leaf or the leaves, the stem and the roots. Now, the jobs of those parts, now flowers are brightly coloured, and the reason this is because they need to attract insects. The job of a flower is eventually to make seeds, but to do that they need pollen. They make their own pollen, but they need pollen from a different plant in order to make seeds. They can't do it all by themselves. And bees and other insects help with that by transferring pollen from one flower to another. Leaves use sunlight, and they use that sunlight to make the food for the plant. Stems we've talked about before. We looked at the celery with the blue dye. You might remember in class. They hold the plant up and they carry water to different parts of the plant as well. And the roots have a number of purposes as well. They absorb water and nutrients from the soil for the plant. They also anchor the plant in the ground and stop it falling over. These are the parts of the flower. Now, for the Year 3 curriculum, you don't particularly need to know them, but it is quite interesting and it does tell you more about the job of the flower. So as I've said, the flowers are needed to make seeds, and for that to happen, pollination has to happen. Now, pollination is when pollen gets from one flower to another so that the flower that receives the pollen can make seeds. If you've ever had a lily plant, you'll have seen pollen. It's a sort of powder that grows on, well, that is present on these anthers, which are part of the larger stamen. And when a bumblebee or other insect comes along and visits the flower, attracted by the brightly coloured petals, the pollen will rub off on the insect. And then when the insect flies to the next plant, it will rub that pollen onto the pistils at the top of the flower over here. The pollen will then be taken down into the carpel and that will make the seeds. Okay, and that's essentially pollination. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to complete a labelled diagram, and I have put a worksheet on DB Primary for you to complete. There are many ways of doing this. You can either download the worksheet and print it off, fill it in, or you can take a pencil and a piece of paper and you can do your own diagram of the buttercup on a piece of paper and label it yourself. You then answer the questions underneath in full sentences. When you've done that, if you can, take a photograph of it, of your work, and you can upload it to your DB Primary account in the work section of your homepage. As always, if you need any help, I am but an email away. And I hope this has been useful for you. Thank you very much.